say, Gary, why are you wearing that?
Yeah, but...
And then it turns into some long-winded story about Alaskifications.
Yeah, but...
Then Gary says something ridiculous.
Yeah, but...
And you agree that an Alaskification before winter is the best way to prepare for cold weather.
Yeah, but...
And how Alaskan AC guarantees no breakdowns.
Yeah, but...
And all it does is encourage Gary to walk around wearing a stupid-looking ski mask that no person in his right mind would get caught dead wearing.
Yeah, but he's wearing my ski mask.
Keeping my head protected, just like the Alaskification protects your heater.
My ski mask isn't stupid looking.
Look who's wearing it.
I choose to ignore that remark.
Because you know another one is coming.
Take off that stupid ski mask.
See?
And that's why you should schedule your Alaskification today.
What did we accomplish here?
I'm not sure, but today is a good day to Alaskify. Schedule now at alaskanac.com.
Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, heart-pounding excitement. Nitro Circus is back. The all-new off-the-rails tour. Gravity-defying thrill seekers and world-class daredevils at the top of their game. FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and everything in between. Experience all new competitions that pit the best against the best in never-been-done showdowns. Nitro Circus. Friday, December 5th. Desert Diamond Arena. Join the action at Ticketmaster.com.
At Winco, we're working to save you money. Every aisle, every department, every day.
9 stores in the Phoenix area, including the new Santan Valley location.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
A season starts tonight, a new chapter of Phoenix Suns basketball, just a few short hours away. We'll do our best here to get you ready for all things Suns Kings tonight, as we also continue to dive into the bye week of the Arizona Cardinals and what might be next up on their docket before they play the Dallas Cowboys coming out of the bye week. Welcome in Wednesday edition of the lunch break right here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you. We've got you for the next 2 hours. Producer Evan, he's pushing all the buttons behind the scenes, ready to take your phone calls. 480-864-1060. That is the number for you to join us. You can also hang out with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. And it's been a while. Have to dust this button off today on the program because the daily special, it's not about the football team. It's not about the baseball team. It's about the basketball team.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
A new chapter, a new era, a new culture of Phoenix Suns basketball begins tonight. The wait is over. The anticipation of what the Brian Gregory, Jordan Ott era of Suns basketball would look like. We'll get our first glimpse of that tonight. Don't worry, plenty of glimpses over the course of an 80-plus game regular season, but tonight, the first impression. You only get one chance at a first impression. The Suns will give us that tonight, but that's not the part of the basketball team that I want to focus on to open up today's show. Because tonight also marks the start of year 11 for Devin Booker in the NBA. 10 seasons already in the books. Tonight, year 11 begins for the superstar of your Phoenix Suns. Not only is this year 11 for Book, we also have classified this as really Act 4 of Devin Booker's NBA career. Act 1, his sort of coming of age, not only as a basketball player, but as a person. Drafted at 18 years old to this organization, to this city, to this franchise, went through a lot of losing, went through a lot of rebuilding, a lot of trying to put the pieces together. That was Act 1. Act 2 was the ascension with Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton into being a team on the doorstep, 2 wins away from winning a championship. Act 3 of his career, the Big 3 era. The last 2 seasons with Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. Tonight starts Act 4. And it is a return to a lot of the things we asked of Devin Booker in Act 1. He's more mature. He's more experienced. He's older. He has a different teammates around him, a different coach around him, a different infrastructure around him. But a lot of the same things we asked of Devin Booker as an 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old, we are asking of him now as he enters his 11th year, his age 28, 29 season in the NBA. We have been through it all with Devin Booker. The ups and the downs. And I think it is fair to say in this market right now, one of the more polarizing figures in this market. I don't know many people in my circles, producer Evan, maybe you hang out with the youth more than I do. You're younger than I am. People either love Devin Booker or I don't want to say hate, they just don't like Devin Booker. They don't think he's the right guy to lead this franchise. You're either in or you're out on Devin Booker. I don't know, as we start year 11 of his career, as we start another Suns season tonight, I don't know how many people truly still sit on the fence about Devin Booker. That's why I use the term polarizing. I think you're either in or you're out at this point for Devin Booker.
Yeah, I think that which is crazy to say, but you almost compare him to the quarterback of this town. Like, people either like Kyler Murray or they're out on Kyler Murray, and Devin Booker is far better than Kyler Murray, but that kind of polarizing figure where some people want him gone and others look at him as the face of the franchise, which he's been for, the better part of a decade to this point. So I think he's extremely polarizing, and he represents a Suns team that went to the finals, but an era of Suns basketball that has been disappointing at times, that has overplayed expectations at times, like a roller coaster of emotions through Devin Booker's career. So I get why it's polarizing.
And that leads us to tonight. That leads us to this season. That leads us to this year, this act, this chapter of Devin Booker's career that to me feels just a little bit different than those other three acts. Because while I just said that I don't think there are many fence sitters sitting out there, I do think this is Devin Booker's last chance, his last stand, last chance saloon, as we say here on the show, to win those holdouts, those people that may still be on the fence over. His last chance to sway those that are out on him to flip course, change their opinion, and be in on him as a superstar, as a number one option, as somebody that you can win a championship because of. Not with, but win a championship because of. And there's a difference. There's a difference between the 1A or the number 2 option and you win a championship with that player than that player being a reason you win a championship. You win a title because of that player. I think there are a bunch of people out there today as we start year 11 of Devin Booker's career that think the Suns cannot win a championship because of Devin Booker. They can win a title with Devin Booker, but as the Robin, not the Batman. This is Devin Booker, in my mind. Tonight is the start of his last chance to show that he's a Batman, especially with how last year went, because he was a Robin the last couple of years to Kevin Durant and to Bradley Beal. And oh, by the way, last year, statistically, one of the worst years, if not the worst year, of Devin Booker's NBA career. Points per game, the lowest it's been in his career. Played more minutes than he's ever played as a Sun. His statistics all across the board diminished last season. Was it the pressure? Was it not being able to find his role, his rhythm in an offense with Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal? Did he take too much of a backseat? What caused that? Guess what? All of those potential excuses are off this year. Because if Devin Booker can succeed this year, if Devin Booker can be the leader this year, if he can take this team from the low expectations that they have, we outlined them yesterday. The expectation is, hey, can you be a little bit better than last year? Can you win more games than a year ago? Can you be more fun? Can you be more entertaining? And that's not like a statistical bar to clear. That's just kind of a vibes thing. This year for the Suns is vibes. Can you give me good vibes for 80-plus games? Can I feel good about watching Suns basketball? To use our analogy here on the program, can more often than not the Suns be the big screen option, not relegated to the tablet or the cell phone? Can they be the big screen option more often than not throughout the course of the year? That's the expectation. That's the bar the Phoenix Suns have to clear. If Devin Booker can do that, if he can be the reason they meet those expectations, if he can be a central piece as to why the vibes are high, then I think he'll win some people over. Because this year, this team is back to being Devin Booker's team. You have a first-year head coach, and that first-year head coach we like. And we're going to talk today about what expectations should be on Jordan Ott a little bit later on in the show. But you know what I do know about Jordan Ott? He's going to lean on Devin Booker. He's going to lean on his superstar. He's going to lean on the most talented player on the roster to help him through his first year as a head coach. Devin Booker has to be up to the challenge. Booker has to meet the challenge. He has to meet those expectations that Jordan Ott is going to put on him. And if he does that, I think he's going to win some people over. Those holdouts that are on the fence, as few of them as we think there are, he might be able to sway some people that are out on him if he's able to surprise this year. If this team, think a buy or sell from earlier in the week, they can win 40-plus games, they can sniff around that 10th and final playoff spot, play-in tournament, and Devin Booker can be a major reason why the Suns are a positive story at the end of the year. The Suns are talked about in a positive light at the end of the year. I think he's going to win some people over. Now, on the flip side, if he doesn't, if this season doesn't show signs of progress, if we're left at the end of the season wondering if he is the number one, if he can be the Batman, if we're left wondering at the end of the year, can you win a title because of Devin Booker? If after year 11 we are still asking that question, I'll use producer Evan's comparison, feels very similar to the Kyler Murray conversation. If Devin Booker can't put this franchise back on the right track, if the vibes aren't, I don't want to say immaculate, but if the vibes aren't positive at the end of the season, then I think it's over. Then I think those holdouts are going to flip to the side of we can't win with this guy. I think the people that are out on him are going to be further entrenched, and I think you're going to lose some of those people that think that he can be a superstar. And unfortunately, I think the byproduct of that is we spend next summer talking about Devin Booker playing elsewhere next season. This is it for me. To me, this year is last chance saloon for Devin Booker. It mirrors Kyler Murray in so many ways. This year for Kyler feels like it's it. He either has to put up or shut up. Now for Kyler, it was playoff berth, be productive, be a reason why the team wins. Those are high expectations, a high bar to clear. For Devin, I don't think the bar is that high to clear for me to think you can win with him and continue to build around him, and they made the right decision by not completely blowing it up this past summer. But you got to clear that low bar. And if you don't, I can't stop the conversation that's coming next summer. I can't stop the rumors that are going to circulate around the trade deadline if this team is dead and buried already and we're wondering if they made the right decision at coach, if they made the right decision at GM. If we are at a point in January, February where we're questioning things, we're not there yet, but if we get there, all bets are off for what this sounds like. All bets are off for what this looks like. That's why I think this is the last chance for Devin Booker. It is a massive season for him, not only statistically, but I think for his place in this franchise and his place in the future of this team.
We've said this a lot, but this is kind of a on-the-fence season of where this team falls in the next few years. This is, we ran it back with Devin Booker. Do we move on? Or can we build around Book and continue to move forward? And we know that this team is allergic to a rebuild. This is a retool.
You can't say that word.
I can't say that word.
Not allowed.
And listen,
the alignment.
We're aligned on that.
This show perfectly aligned with Brian Gregory and Jordan Ott. We're in.
But I think this has a huge outcome on what the next 3 to 5 years of this organization look like are based on how Devin Booker plays in 2025, 2026.
You're not rebuilding, you're retooling, right? We had some fun with that in the summertime. But to your point, I think one of the questions that you're trying to answer this year is, where are we at with Devin Booker being the leader of this team? And if at the end of the year you feel good about that, if you feel good about Devin Booker being the number one option, then you can continue to build around him. If you don't feel good, if we don't feel good about that, then the rebuild word has to come front and center. The rebuild word has to be a topic of conversation, or you completely strip this down and try again. That's how important this year is, not just for Devin Booker and his legacy and his career and what his future looks like, but for the Phoenix Suns. Because if Mat Ishbia's bet is correct, and trust me, I'm going to talk about Mat Ishbia today on the program because he's already at it. Ball isn't even in the air. Suns haven't even tipped off. Mat Ishbia already saying stuff. We'll tell you what he said and how I feel about it a little bit later on this hour. If Mat Ishbia is right in his gamble, that they don't need to rebuild, that they just needed to retool, that they just needed to get rid of players like Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal that, let's face it, just weren't good fits. Culture-wise, didn't work. And that Devin Booker, with a young coach, defensive-minded guys, younger players, more athletic. If that bet is correct and Devin Booker is the right guy to build around, we'll get that answer this year. We'll know. But if the bet is wrong, then there's more soul-searching that needs to be done at the end of this year. That's what this season is about. That is what we need to answer or try to answer over the course of the next 80-plus games for the Phoenix Suns. I'm excited. I'm so looking forward to tonight. Our first look, unfortunately, not going to have Jalen Green tonight in this game, so it's not a full 100% look of what this Suns team can be. But so many exciting pieces. We're going to do our top 5 list today on the show. The top 5 players we're most excited to see this year for the Phoenix Suns. There's a buzz. In basketball, if I was power ranking it towards the bottom of my favorite sports, I'm looking forward to tonight. 7 o'clock, that ball going up in the air. I'm excited to see Suns basketball just because it's the first impression. You only get one of them if you're Jordan Ott. You only get one of them if you're Devin Booker for this season. If you're all these new pieces, this is your Brian Gregory. This is it.
It's the first look at a new era.
All this noise, all of this.
The alignment.
All this talk all year kind of leads up to tonight. Because even if you play a competitive game and lose, that's fine. You just got to show that all this talk, all this noise, all the moves that you made in the offseason in the summertime were worth it. That you are putting together a product that everybody can be proud of. So looking forward to tonight. We'll have more on the Suns as the show progresses here today. You want to join us? 480-864-1060, the phone number. That's one way. You can also hang out with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Chat away with everybody over there. Lots of thoughts already pouring in on the Phoenix Suns ahead of tonight's season opener. When we come back, let's flip over to the football side of things. Do the Arizona Cardinals need to go out and get some help? That's next. The lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
This is what I mean when I say that was a collapse for the ages. An all-time tank job. Not only did the Giants lead 19-0, going into the fourth quarter, they scored 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, and they still lost. The Giants were 99.8% to win that game, according to ESPN. But according to the Broncos, the number was actually 0.0%.
Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
If you could rewind 10 years, what would you do differently? Buy Apple stock at $20? Skip the Ghost Pepper Challenge? Maybe even rethink the skinny jeans. Nate here, owner of Blue Sky Pest Control. Some regrets are harmless, termite damage isn't. You can't go back in time, but you can keep termites from eating your future. Call 602-BLUE-SKY today for your free termite inspection. Hello, Blue Sky. Goodbye, pests.
Every day begins with the promise of something new. A new perspective, a fresh start. At Banner Health, right here, right now, we're pioneering new ways to treat cancer with our own immune systems. We're among the first to treat Parkinson's with the patient's own cells. And we're a world leader in artificial heart implantation. All while training over 1,300 doctors every year. Impressive, right? It's just another Banner day. Banner Health.
'Tis scratches season, and all through the state, the Arizona Lottery is giving people something to celebrate. Grab your friends and gather round for the chance to win $250,000 with cash countdown. Peppermint scented candy cane cash is available at any Arizona Lottery retailer in a flash. Gift these and 4 more games for any reason, because there are more than $80 million in prizes this season. This year and all, we wish you a happy holiday. From Arizona Lottery, love the play.
Meet Barkley. When Barkley smells gas, he leaves fast. When Barkley hears hissing coming from a gas appliance, he leaves fast. When Barkley sees dirt or water shooting from the ground, he leaves fast. Barkley then calls 911 and Southwest Gas from a safe location.
Did that dog just grab a phone and dial 911?
Gas lines can be buried anywhere, so remember to call 911 and Southwest Gas.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. I really hate to be a prisoner in the moment. After all, we come out of every single NFL weekend with a new alleged team to beat. Initially, we had the Ravens, who had the best roster on paper. Then we had the Packers, who looked like alleged monsters 2 weeks in. Then we were wondering if the Eagles could run it back again, or if this was finally the Bills' year. Or were the Colts really going to shock the world? Or maybe Jim Harbaugh had the Chargers in position to make a run. Or maybe it was Sean Payton's Broncos, given that he called them a Super Bowl contender. Actually, it had to be the Chiefs because they were looking all dynastic once again. And then after seeing Detroit knock out Tampa Bay last night, clearly the Lions are the ones to beat now. Or how about this? Nobody knows anything week to week in the NFL. This much I do know, though, and it's not good news for Aaron Glenn. I know the Lions defense improved when he left, and the Jets got worse when he arrived. That is the only thing that I'm certain of right now. I'm Jim Rome. Basketball is back, football season is heating up, and Prize Picks is making this sports season even more fun. So don't miss any of the action this season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Download the Prize Picks app today, use the code ROME, and get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code ROME on Prize Picks to get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get the $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. You do have to be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
You need parts? O'Reilly has parts. Get one free set of brake pads when you buy 2 brake rotors. Upgrade to Brake Best Select pads for just $10. Or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or Import Direct pads for just $20. Product availability. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Oklahoma City taking out everybody on their way to a championship. One of the youngest, I think the average is 26 years old,
Yeah.
Rich. As long as they have the Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan machine, or at least one person on that team, hopefully it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, they have a chance. And listen, it's human nature to be the best and think, I'll be the best again. And then you fall short. I'm going to say Oklahoma City will not go back-to-back.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
The NFL trade deadline, November 4th, just a couple weeks away. And the Arizona Cardinals find themselves in a really weird spot when it comes to that trade deadline on November 4th. Because the first question I have listed in my notes here for this segment of the show is trying to figure out what the Cardinals' trade deadline plans should be. Now, I know what they should have been before the season started. I know what they should have been if this team was 5-2. I know what they should have been if they were 4-3, if they were 6-1, if they were any of the records that we predicted that they could be through the first couple of weeks of the season. I know what the plan should be then. I don't know what the plan should be for this team in this current state as they enter the bye 2-5, losers of 5 games in a row. If you were going to be a buyer, if this team was 4-3, 5-2, 6-1, you name it. A wide receiver 2, certainly atop the list. Some corner help because they're down Garrett Williams. A running back, perhaps. We advocated after both Trey Benson and James Conner went down. Could you call the Saints about Alvin Kamara? Could you call the Jets about Breece Hall? Could you make those types of phone calls and get somebody in here that raises not only the floor, but the ceiling of that group? That's the case for buying. Those are the positions that you should go out there and get if you are going to be a buyer. But on the flip side, can I sit here with a straight face and say that the Arizona Cardinals should be sellers at 2-5? Can I sit here with a straight face and say, with this team playing 7 closely contested games, with this team having leads each of the last 3 weeks of 7 points or more going into the fourth quarter, that they are that far off that they need to be full-blown sellers? Calais Campbell someplace else. I'm entertaining Kyler Murray trades. I'm entertaining Budda Baker trades. I'm entertaining trades across the board for my big star players. Is that really something I can advocate for and sound like a smart, educated football person here on the show? I don't think I can do that either. What should they do? Well, if I can't make the case for buying, and I don't really want to make the case for selling, then there really is only one thing to do. But can I tell you what? I hate that the most. I hate the idea of standing pat here at the 2025 NFL trade deadline as just a continuation of the status quo of a team that needs to be shaken a little bit. Those are your three choices, ladies and gentlemen. You can advocate for the Cardinals to be a buyer, you can advocate for the Cardinals to be a seller, or you can advocate for the Cardinals to stand pat at the deadline. Now, to me, logically, standing pat feels like the right thing to do, but it also feels like the easiest way to wave the white flag on this season while also not setting yourself up at all for 2026. Buying feels hazardous because you're buying a team that's 2-5 and you're giving up capital for 2026 when you might need to tear this thing down and rebuild it a little bit. Selling feels disingenuous because now I need to try to stick around for 10 games and evaluate a coach, and you're getting rid of all the players that could help him win some games and save his job. The Cardinals find themselves in football purgatory right now. I don't know what they should do. Standing pat probably feels like the best case, but that just feels like a continuation of what we've seen through the first 7 weeks over the next 10 games, having nothing to show for it, having no additional draft capital, and we all wasted our time here in 2025.
Yeah, are you going to be the team that's continually, quote, in the game in the fourth quarter, contend up until the end? What were some of the quotes we read yesterday, right? Like, you're going to be that team. And at least if I sell, I can grab draft capital. And if I buy, maybe I get myself over that hump. But you're 2-5. You know, we're talking about a team that has to go, 8-2 the rest of the way to give yourself a chance? Who knows if 10 wins gets you in?
The Athletic did a story today going through all the teams in the NFL and saying, should they be buyers, sellers, or should they stand pat ahead of the deadline on November 4th? The Arizona Cardinals, Doug Holler, covers the Cardinals for The Athletic, said that they should stand pat. I'm going to read you what he had to say here. Quote, the Cardinals are in a tailspin, losers of 5 in a row. At 2-5, they are now tied with the Giants for the second worst record among NFC teams, behind the 1-win Saints. They've had a chance to win all 7 games, but that's false hope. The organization really has one decision, and it involves Kyler Murray. With the quarterback sidelined the past 2 games with a foot injury, Jacoby Brissett has started, and the offense has looked better than it has all season. Fans want Brissett to keep the job. That Arizona lost both games with Brissett shows how much trust fans have lost in Murray, who is under contract through 2028. Any decision on roster improvement should be put on hold until the organization decides what it wants to do with Kyler Murray, end quote. This team's decided what they want to do with Kyler Murray, no?
You would have to imagine at this point.
And we all know what that decision is, right?
Let's move on at the end of the year.
If that's the decision you've made, if you're Monty, you need to be a seller right now.
Yeah, you need to go get draft capital to go get myself another quarterback.
You've lost 5 in a row. You're out on the franchise quarterback. I need to get clearly what I've done here so far hasn't worked. Now, here's where they find themselves in purgatory, though. It goes back to a conversation we've started to have over the last couple of days. Do you trust this regime to be given the keys to fixing this? Because if I'm Monty and I'm JG, and let's just talk about Monty here because he's the person who's going to make the decision on selling or buying or standing pat. If I know that my job is safe next season, then I can be a seller. If I think I have to win games, if I think I need to do something here over the next 10 games in order to keep my job, to show to Michael Bidwell that I deserve to pick a quarterback next offseason, that I deserve to get a swing at getting a franchise quarterback, whether I'm trading for somebody, I'm signing a bridge guy in free agency, or I'm drafting somebody in the first round of next year's draft. If I want to be given that role and I feel like I need to win more games in order to do so, if my job security is up in the air, then you can't sell. If I think my job security is pretty good, then I can be a seller. So what is their job security? We know what the expectations were before the season, so not meeting them feels like their job security should be a little shaky. Not on solid foundation right now, those two. So if I'm those guys, if I'm Monty in particular, am I going to sell if I think that's the right thing to do for the future health of this organization? But if it also means I might lose my job because we don't win games at the end of the season, and this is where the bye week might help. Lost 5 in a row, 2-5. First 7 games of the season, you're having meetings. Monty's having meetings, JG's having meetings, Michael Bidwell's probably involved, and there's going to be a summit, a get-together, where they decide what the next right decision is, where they're going. And I'm sure there's going to be some job security conversations that happen here over this next week. Because that's the only way you can empower both Gannon and Monty to make good decisions for the long-term success of the organization. If they don't know what their future holds, then they're always going to look out for their own self-interest. They're going to look, what keeps me in this position, not what is the best thing for the Arizona Cardinals. You want those two things to work together, and the only way that they can do that is with that job security. So that's why standing pat feels like the only thing they can do. Can you really be a buyer at 2-5? You're going to buy for what? You're going to give up 2026 draft capital for what? A snowball's chance to try to make the postseason?
If that, right?
And you're not really going to be a seller because are you sure you're going to be given the keys next year to make that decision? So all roads lead back to standing pat's the only thing they can do at 2-5. Standing pat's the only thing that makes sense for this team, even though with it comes a whole host of problems. Such a bad place to be. Such a bad place for a franchise to be in a year where they were supposed to be competitive, where they were supposed to be relevant, where we're supposed to be talking about them as a playoff team. Instead, they're going to stand pat at the deadline, do nothing, and at the end of the year, we're going to look up. The team may have nothing to show for this year. They're going to have a quarterback that's going to walk out the door via a trade, or you cut him, and you're going to be back at the drawing board with two people that you may not trust to have the keys to your franchise. What a bad place to be right now through 7 weeks. At least there's 10 games to go for them to potentially turn things around. 480-864-1060, the phone number. You can also join us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Paul over there says the Cardinals are going to stay with the players currently on the team. They're not going to trade anyone because they don't have enough self-confidence to make any changes. It's not that. I think it's more so if you're Monty and you're thinking about being a buyer because you know what the expectations were on this team, you don't want to cut off your nose to spite your face. You don't want to hurt yourself in 2026 to try to do something in 2025 when, let's face it, you're 2-5, you lost 5 in a row. There's nothing to believe in with this team. That's the weird dynamic that they find themselves in. When we come back, Mat Ishbia, Suns haven't even played a game, and he is already talking. We'll tell you what he said, and if he's right, next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Hello, everybody. Eric Bryan, owner of Precision Air and Plumbing. When it comes to your comfort, results matter. That's why Precision has been voted the #1 ranked AC company in the Valley for over a decade, delivering the best installation in the state. And now's the perfect time to upgrade. Get $2,500 off a new AC unit, plus receive the Valley's only 10-year workmanship warranty. Protect your home, lower your stress, stay comfortable all year long. Make the Precision decision today. Call us at 602-FIX-MY-AC.
Brian Adams, Roll with the Punches Tour 2025. A night full of hits, live at PHX Arena, Saturday, November 15th. With special guest Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help that often requires only simple maintenance. However, if left untreated, could lead to costly repairs. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello from A1 Garage Door Service. Don't wait until a simple garage door repair becomes a major problem. If your garage door is noisy, if bugs are getting in, or if it struggles to open, your garage door is in need of repair. From simple repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. We fix garage doors fast and with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. Our springs, rollers, and openers are tested by running them up and down, open and closed, all day, 24/7, so you can feel confident with every A1 garage door repair. Replacing the bottom rubber on your garage door can have a huge impact on the number of bugs you see in your garage and in your home. Keep those creepy crawlers outside by calling A1 Garage Door Service today and receive the best service, best parts, and best warranty in the industry.
A1Garage.com, A1 from day one.
Call
today and take advantage of our $29.95 tune-up special.
Connect directly, bid confidently. At Purple Wave Auction, transparency is key. With no reserves and no hidden surprises, you're connected directly to sellers so you can inspect and bid on quality equipment with confidence. Whether you're looking for ag, construction, or fleet equipment, we're here to ensure a clear, hassle-free experience. Register today at purplewave.com and start bidding with peace of mind. Purple Wave Auction, the easiest and most straightforward way to buy and sell equipment.
At Mark Mazda in Scottsdale, we need your trade. Right now, we'll give you a minimum of $8,000 for any trade, no matter what shape it's in, as long as it runs, on every brand new 2025 Mazda CX-50 and CX-5 in stock. These are Mazda's most popular CUVs.
But seriously, we need your trade. And if $8,000 is the minimum, think what your good trade might be worth. You have to bring it down here to find out. The name to remember, Mark Mazda. Mark Mazda. Approved credit plus 988.3. Offers not conjunction.
James out west. Mike Trout became the 59th player to hit his 400th home run. The home run record holder for the Angels. I was going to quiz you. Who do you think the number 2 is on the list for all-time home runs for the Anaheim Angels?
I would assume it's Shohei Ohtani.
Nope, Tim Salmon.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
299 for Tim Salmon. Mike Trout got 101 more than the next
Talk about
guy.
naming a random MLB player that had a good career.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
wild.
I loved watching Tim Salmon, bro. I'm about to cut together some Tim Salmon highlights.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KTUS AM 1060.
The Suns have yet to play a game in the 2025-2026 season. We're already hearing from the owner of the team, Mat Ishbia, getting into it, getting in the weeds, getting his elbows out there on NBA Twitter. I believe this was last night. He originally was quote tweeting a tweet from Sam Cooper, who hosts the Suns Timeline podcast. Does a great job covering the Suns over there. And Sam Cooper screenshotted a prediction from the Ringer's 24 increasingly bold predictions for the 25-26 NBA season story that was written yesterday. And the one that was screenshotted, obviously is Suns related, it was the Suns will have the worst defense in the NBA. That was just the bold prediction. Then there's a bunch of stuff underneath it. And Sam tweeted, "I look forward to this take being just ridiculously wrong." So Sam Cooper screenshotting a Ringer story, not written by Bill Simmons, by the way. Just want to make this clear before we get out. Story written by the Ringer, owned by Bill Simmons, run by Bill Simmons, but not from Bill Simmons. Mat Ishbia quote tweets Sam Cooper and ats Bill Simmons and says, "Bill Simmons, you and your crew have some good takes and some that are terrible. You're the betting guru, and even you know better than to actually take this bet. Tell you what, go put your money on this take. When you lose, I will donate the same amount to charity of your choice. Different culture and different team in PHX this year. Let's go!" Exclamation. Mat Ishbia responding, quote tweeting a tweet that was shouting out a Ringer story saying that the Suns will have the worst defense in the NBA. Mat Ishbia got his elbows out, decided to go after Bill Simmons. Now, Bill Simmons, I don't even know if he agrees with the take. Bill Simmons didn't say the take. I just know that it was on the Ringer, so he decided to say you and your crew. Bill may not agree with the opinion that the Suns will have the worst defense in the NBA this year, but it was on the Ringer site, so Mat Ishbia decided to get his elbows out. Now,
Bill Simmons did respond, by the way.
I didn't see Bill's response.
At 7:31 a.m.
This morning?
To be fair.
So that's why I missed it.
To be fair, this was from a Ringer piece called Increasingly Bold Predictions. Yeah. My only Suns pick was, in all caps, under 31.5, just FYI. Happy to wager on that, but you're an NBA owner and you're not allowed to bet. Maybe we should just bet aspiration stock.
Bill did a lot in that tweet. I love everything about that tweet.
I actually like it, Matt's tweet.
This is where I want to go with this. Do you like what Mat Ishbia said? Do you like Mat Ishbia going to bat for his team in that way? Because here's the other thing. Is Matt wrong? Is Matt wrong going to bat for his team the way that he is here? Because I think all of us agree that the defense is going to be improved this year. I think all of us agree that they can't be worse than they were defensively last year, even how young and inexperienced they are. They're more athletic. They brought in defensive-minded guys. They have a player like Dillon Brooks who's instantly going to raise not just the floor defensively from a statistical perspective, but from an energy and leadership perspective on that side of the ball. I agree wholeheartedly with Mat Ishbia that they're not going to be the worst defense in the NBA. But just because you're right, does it mean that that's what you should have done on the eve of your season getting underway when, let's face it, a lot of talk last year about this team. Where did it get you? We said it in the summertime. Less talk, more action. Less talk, show me. I don't want to hear about it. I want you to be about it. So I don't know how much I love this from the owner of the team.
I don't mind it. You're standing up for your boys a little. You are showing not showing because you haven't played yet, but you're trying to relay that there's a new culture here. And this is about showing the fans there's a new culture. And for the owner to step in and say, different culture, different team here in PHX.
Means absolutely nothing to me as a fan. That's me. To me, if I saw that, that means nothing. Mat Ishbia tweeting that changes nothing about how I feel about the new culture and the new team here. What will change how I feel about the culture, or at least confirm or deny what I think about this team, is watching them play tonight, is watching them play on Friday, watching them play on Saturday, watching them play over the course of this season. Mat Ishbia saying that they're a different culture means absolutely nothing to me because this is the same owner, and I hate to constantly bring this back, but this is why words matter. This is the same GM who at the end, the same owner at the end of the year got up there and said 27 other NBA teams would trade their entire situation for ours. Those
he was wrong.
We're bad. So you saying this doesn't mean it is an admission that, yes, we have a different culture. It is a confirmation that you have a different culture. No, because you've been wrong in the past. What is going to show me that you have a different culture? What is going to show me that you have a different team? What is going to confirm that to all of me is actually seeing it in the way that they're coached, in the way that they play. Tonight is going to do that, not tweeting and getting into a Twitter war with Bill Simmons. Now, by the way, just to be fair, he didn't say that he was going to bet. He said that if Bill lost his bet, he would donate money to charity.
Yes.
That's a very different thing. Let's be fair.
That's Bill misspoke in his tweet. Yes,
he told Bill to take the bet and that he would donate money to charity if the bet lost.
Yes.
I think it's kind of a gray area, but I think Matt's in the clear here. I don't think that's against NBA rules.
You don't think he had somebody read this, be like, hey, can I tweet this?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Mat Ishbia, and I love this about him, when he gets up there and he speaks with the media.
No, he's very honest.
It sometimes feels like he doesn't have a PR team. Both good and bad, it feels like he doesn't have a PR team around him. So
yeah,
I don't know.
As a fan,
I don't know if this was clear.
It makes it fun.
You never know what he's going to say. Both good and bad. And I kind of like that. I like the candidness. I like that he gets up there and it doesn't feel formulaic. It doesn't feel scripted. It's not like he's reading off of bullet points. He's a fan. He's just shooting from the hip.
It's certainly not coach speak.
No, it is certainly not coach speak.
But to his point, and I know actions, and we'll see how they play tonight, and all of that has a lot to do with where we think this culture has changed. But to what everybody has said to this point, Jordan Ott taking the stand, Brian Gregory taking the podium, to having guys like Tom Thibodeau in practice, bringing on Steve Nash back into the organization, there is an active effort to change the culture here.
But think about what you just said there. I saw Tom Thibodeau at practice helping Jordan Ott. That's an action. That's not words. They didn't have Tom Thibodeau meet with the media. They didn't say that Tom Thibodeau was going to be there. He was just there. Bringing Steve Nash back in a role to advise the team, to help Jordan Ott. That's an action. I watched it. I've seen it. I've seen Jordan Ott and Steve Nash work together. Those are the things that I'm talking about. Tweets don't do anything for me. They're just words. Just like the words that 27 other teams would want your spot, when that was very clearly wrong. It was foolish at the time, and it still aged poorly. In the moment, it was a dumb thing to say, and it aged poorly. So I don't care that Mat Ishbia is getting his elbows out, he's getting into NBA Twitter, and he's going to bat with one of the bigger names in the sport in Bill Simmons, at least from a media perspective. It doesn't do anything for me, whether he's right or he's wrong. And I think this time he's right. I think these words are more truthful than saying 27 of the 29 teams in the NBA would trade for our spot. This time I actually think he's telling the truth, but it doesn't matter. Because how many times have we watched the words fall short for this franchise? The words fall short for this team. It's about action. It's about what I see. It's about what you do, not what you say. And so that's why I don't think it's inherently the worst thing in the world that he did this. But it's not this great thing. It's not him going to bat for his team in a way that's going to rally the troops. It's not that. Because there are so many examples of this team saying something and it not actually meaning anything. So if there is a different culture, like you said, Mat Ishbia, if there is a different team, like you said, Mat Ishbia, I'll see it. I'll see it tonight. Not because you decided to throw out a challenge to Bill Simmons that you would donate money to charity. And I just don't love, on the eve of the season, the owner doing this. Can it be about the team that we're going to see tonight? We had to talk about this today on the show. Instead of previewing the game, talking about the team, talking about the roster, this is what we've talked about instead. I just don't love it. I would work in silence. That was our message in the summertime to this team, work in silence. Let your actions speak for you. And on the eve of the season, the doorstep, Mat Ishbia broke that rule. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, wrapping up hour number 1 here of the show, little buy or sell, hottest takes in Sports Talk Radio. I got to buy or sell them next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters and we kept signing people to contracts and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Hey, Benjamin, we've got a surprise for you.
What?
You've got brothers.
Huh?
$50 and $200 bills just like you.
Hey.
So, what?
We just got them for joining America First Credit Union and opening a new checking account.
And you're all going to live together at America First.
What? This is nice.
For a limited time, new members get a $250 cash bonus when they open a checking account with direct deposit or $50 with a youth checking account. So head to AmericaFirst.com and get your money working today. Membership eligibility, terms, and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
This is Desert Diamond West Valley, where there's next level action and jackpot winning smiles all around. So get your shine on, light up the room, show us what it's all about. Join us at Rocktoberfest on Friday, October 31st, 6 p.m. to midnight for food, fun, games, and more. Get tickets at ddcaz.com. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino West Valley.
An enterprise of the Donna All Nation.
9 Inch Nails. Live at Desert Diamond Arena, Friday, March 6th. Get tickets now at NIN.com. 9 Inch Nails. Live in Glendale. Peel It Back Tour 2026.
Only 50% of Arizonans believe their health insurance will cover them in a major medical emergency, like a car accident or an unexpected life-changing diagnosis. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona aims to change that perception. AZ Blue often takes care of more than 99% of hospital charges in major emergencies, protecting you and your family from devastating financial consequences. To learn more about how AZ Blue protects its members, head to azblue.com/true story.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Wrapping up hour number 1 here of the show. Thanks for hanging out with us on the lunch break. Chris Schubert with you, getting ready for the Suns to make their season debut tonight against the Kings. We had a couple of games last night to kick off the NBA season. The Suns in action tonight. We'll talk about Jordan Ott at the top of the hour to start hour number 2. But right now, we close up hour number 1 here with a little buy or sell. Hottest takes in the Valley, emanating from the other side of the glass.
Right here on KUSA and 1060.
And then I have to try to decipher them and buy or sell them here. That's what we do every day, 11:45.
By the way,
yes,
I got one from each team here in town today.
So that means you have a Suns take, a Diamondbacks take, which we haven't talked Diamondbacks at all this week, so I'm interested to see what that is. You have a Cardinals take, and you have a Sun Devil football take.
That is correct.
Those are the 4 teams that you have in today's buy or sell. Cannot wait to hear what you have in store. So take it away, my friend.
We'll start with the Suns. As they start tonight, Devin Booker will finish with the most assists of his career.
Find into this point book stuff, huh?
Point book.
I think he's going to have the most assists that he's had in his career. He's going to be doing some facilitating. But I also think a lot of it's going to fall on his shoulders. It's a weird balance here. And no Jalen Green tonight. It's kind of the person I think could also get the ball in their hands and be a distributor. They don't really have another distributor right now. You know what? I'll buy this take. I'll buy.
That'd be the 3rd year in a row, by the way, that he has set his career high in assists.
What was it last year? Do you have that number? I just want to know what the bar is. I just think he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot, and he's going to want to get a ton of these guys involved early. Think about it from this perspective, right? You have a lot of new pieces. You have a lot of young guys. You're going to want to get them confidence early in the season, early in games. So I do think Book is going to facilitate a lot. He'll also know, and this is going to really fall on Jordan Ott and Devin Booker to have a really good relationship, knowing when Booker needs to this needs to be him, this needs to be his time, needs to be the Book show, and when it can be, hey, we got to get everybody involved. And that balance, you're an 11-year NBA vet, you're going to know when to push on that gas pedal, but I think he's going to facilitate the ball quite a bit.
He had 529 assists last year.
Okay, that's the
about
number.
5.2 a game.
So that's what he had last year. I think he's going to beat it. I'll buy.
Okay, moving to the Cardinals. The Cardinals should sell at the NFL trade deadline and pick up draft assets.
I mean, I know this feels foolish to say, but how could you not have this opinion today? I mean, you've just watched a team lose 5 games in a row. I don't know if we can get producer AI to work on this for me, but how many times has the team lost 5 games in a row over the course of an NFL season and went on to make the playoffs? It can't be many if it's anybody at all. So just from that perspective alone, do you think this team's going anywhere? So yeah, if you think the season's done, you should do everything in your power, especially because if you think the season is done, then Kyler Murray's done here. He's not coming back. He's not going to be the franchise quarterback next year. So you're in the quarterback market. And the best way to be in the quarterback market is to have a ton of capital, a ton of assets at your disposal so you can go up and get your guy if you identify that you want Fernando Mendoza, that you want more out of Oregon, Ty Simpson out of Alabama. That's what you got to go out there and do. You got to have assets. So yeah, if you think the season is done, if you think that they're not making the postseason, again, they've lost 5 in a row. I saw you frantically typing away back there.
Yeah. Are you ready?
You got anything?
The 1999 Detroit Lions lost 5 straight games in the middle of the season, but won their last 4 to make the playoffs. The 2014 Carolina Panthers lost 5 straight games early in the season, but won their final 5 to get a playoff spot. Lastly, the 2023 Tampa Bay Buccaneers did not have a 5-game winning streak during the season, lost 4 in a row at the end of the year, still secured a playoff berth, and lost in the wild card. So that does not count, but they were part of the list I figured I'd give them.
So 2 teams have done it.
Yes.
In the history of the sport. I don't think the 2025 Arizona Cardinals are going to join that list.
You don't think they're the 1999 Lions?
I don't think they're the 1999 Lions, and I don't think they're the 2014 Panthers. That, if I remember correctly, that was the 7-9 Panthers, right? Check me on that.
Ooh.
Check me on that, because I think that's going to be the 7-9 Panthers, and that's a outlier in and
Is
of
that
itself.
not? That's the year prior to them going to the Super Bowl. 7-8-1.
7-8-1.
And they won the NFC South. They lost 5 games in a row. So they started the year 3-2-1, and then they lost. How about this? Lost 6 games in a row.
They're an outlier. the two teams in general are an outlier. I don't think it's the Cardinals. I don't think they're going to join it. So, yeah, you have to be a seller. I just don't think they're going to be because is Monty secure in his job as the general manager? I don't know the answer to that question right now. I really don't. If he is, then you can be a seller.
No, I don't think he is because you do not have the talent.
Then you can't. Then he won't sell.
Yeah. Jordan Tyson officially out on Saturday. ASU will have to run the ball 40-plus times against Houston.
You in my ear when we went to the last break for this one. You in my ear said Jordan Tyson out. And I walked into your studio and I said, so they're going to have to rush for 350 to win the game? You just have so much concern about who else they're going to throw the ball to. Is it Hamilton? I mean, that's really the guy that you look at to step up, right? In absence of Jordan Tyson. But yeah, I'll buy this. They're going to have to run the ball a ton. And I think they're going to run the ball a ton.
40-plus times. They've done it a couple times this year.
Yeah, well,
they're going to have to do it again.
I think against Houston, they'll add to the list.
Also, Houston, considering Texas Tech coming into last week, the number one rush defense in the country.
Houston is?
Sorry, Texas Tech was.
Tech was.
Houston, not in the top 80.
Run the ball.
There you go, the little nugget there.
Run the ball.
The D-backs should think about bringing back Josh Naylor or Eugenio Suarez in the offseason. Both of them have options that will not be used in Seattle, most likely.
So Suarez, no. Naylor is an iffy one. I know there's plenty of the YouTube chat that
loves Josh Naylor.
They love themselves some Josh Naylor. Anytime we bring him up, they get frustrated that he was traded in the first place. No, I think he's going to command too much. Remember, finite resources this winter. And I think those resources desperately need to go into the pitching side.
And I do think, like, in all seriousness, if I could teach Eugenio Suarez to play first base, because as we saw in the playoffs, he's a bad third baseman.
As he has aged, the defense has gone, yes.
And so if I could teach him to play first, I think about it, he's going to be significantly cheaper if you ask me than Josh Naylor.
Sure, but with that, you now have to accept an extremely flawed player in two regards. I have to accept the ups and downs that I have with Eugenio Suarez as a hitter, but I also now need to accept the flaw of I'm making him go play a position he's never played before, or he hasn't played a ton. And is that really the best use of my resources when I know I don't have the money that I've had the last 2 years to spend? I think the Diamondbacks, one, are going to spend more on the pitching side than they are the hitting side. But two, it's going to be more bets on sure things. I don't think they're going to take a ton of bold risks. I think they'll take one or two, but I don't think they're going to take a ton. And we've outlined, like, signing Devin Williams to be a closing option for them is one of the type of risks I'm talking about. To have him try to rehab his image as a premier closer in the game on a one-year deal with a ton of incentives. That, to me, feels more in line with what I think they should do. So, no, I'll sell the take on Naylor and Suarez coming back because I just think they're going to have different things they're going to want to use their money on.
That's very fair. They have so many holes, and you would have to spend too much to bring in a Eugenio Suarez or a Josh Naylor.
And just pitching. It's 1, 2, and 3 of the priority list for this team this offseason. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. When we come back, what do we want to see from Jordan Ott this year? More importantly, what do we need to see from Jordan Ott this year? That's next. The lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Every month in Arizona, there are a reported 4 to 6 infants that die in an unsafe sleep environment. If you have a baby under 1 year of age, make sure you follow the ABCs of safe sleep every time they nap or sleep. Alone. Babies should sleep alone with nothing surrounding them. Back. Always lay babies on their back to sleep. Crib. A crib is the safest place for baby to sleep. To learn more, visit azdcs.gov/safe sleep.
Every day, reliable, comfortable, connected. Every day you rely on power. At APS, we work around the clock to deliver some of the most reliable power in the country. But with Arizona's extreme weather, outages can happen. Stay safe and informed with alerts by keeping your contact information up to date. And visit our outage center for updates online or on the APS app. For more ways to stay safe and informed, visit aps.com/brighter.
I'm Bree.
I'm Sean.
And we are the Berquist family. We are repeat Fulton customers, and we've lived in a Fulton community for 6 years. We had been looking for a home, and so we walked into the Fulton community, and we were just absolutely blown away. When we walked into the model home, we noticed the high ceilings, the beautiful kitchen, the flooring, and the floor plan. We knew it was a place where we were going to raise our family.
And on top of that, we have a swimming pool and a good location here.
When you say the word community, you have to be able to see it and feel it. And so when you have your neighbors, you feel that community because you become friends, and it even feels like family, like a family community. And that is something that is priceless and can last a lifetime. We absolutely would recommend a Fulton home to our friends and family.
Fulton Homes. You're proud to own, we're proud to build.
The year-end sales event is going on now at Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Right now, you can receive 0% APR for 60 full months on all new 2025 Mitsubishi models. You heard that right, 0% APR on all 2025 Mitsubishi.
And if you're thinking about selling or trading your current vehicle, please give us a call. Our data shows that 9 out of 10 times we offer more. Don't cost yourself $1,000 or more by not making that simple phone call.
The name to remember, Scottsdale Mitsubishi, Scottsdale Mitsubishi, another Mark Auto Group dealership.
Nitro Circus is back with the all-new Off the Rails Tour. World-class daredevils and FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and more. Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, and never-been-done showdowns. Friday, December 5th, Desert Diamond Arena. Visit Ticketmaster.com.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hour number 2 of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert with you. Thanks for hanging out with us on the Wednesday edition of the show. Producer Evan is behind the glass, taking your phone calls. 480-864-1060 is the number for you to join the show. Getting you ready for Suns Kings as the regular season gets underway tonight, starting at 7 o'clock. Suns actually play 3 games this week. They'll play tonight, and then they play Friday night and Saturday night. So we'll have a ton to break down on Monday's show from the first week of Suns action. But we're setting expectations this week here on the show ahead of the season opener tonight. Yesterday, it was the overall team's expectations. To open up our number 1 of the show, to open the show today, we talked about what's on the line for Devin Booker this season in year 11. And now I want to talk about the first-year head coach. I want to talk about Jordan Ott and what the expectations are surrounding him this season. Now, in order to properly frame expectations for Jordan Ott as a first-year head coach, you have to consider the team's circumstances. You have to consider where the team is at. They tore it down quite a bit in the summertime. They got rid of Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. They invested in youth. They invested in experience. They invested in players with some untapped potential. They went all in on building a young, athletic, inexperienced group to grow and build with. So that is the group that Jordan Ott is trying to develop a culture with. He's trying to develop a team with, and he's trying to develop results with. He's not a first-year coach walking into a situation. This is somewhat of an unfair comparison, but Joe Mazzulla, when he took over in Boston, right, had never been an NBA head coach before. Walks in, is the head coach of the Boston Celtics. That team's ready to go. They've got a culture. They've got the talent. They're not identifying pieces. They don't have a ton of draft picks that they're trying to figure out who to give minutes to. They know mostly what their rotation is. It's about results. It's about winning basketball games. It's about winning a championship. Totally different ball game here in Phoenix. You are evaluating talent. You are figuring out if your trade for Mark Williams was a good one. You're debating whether or not the picks that you made in the NBA draft are going to turn out to be quality players. You have young players like Ryan Dunn, Oso Iguodala, that you're still trying to develop. You're trying to get this team back to be Devin Booker's team. All of those things are what you are trying to accomplish here in year one. Those are the roles, the responsibilities. That stuff falls on Jordan Ott. That's the circumstances going into this season. So, producer Evan, I want to put this in 2 buckets, and I'd love for you to hop in here as we try to workshop this today on the show. 2 buckets when trying to set expectations for Jordan Ott this year: the wants and the needs. What we want to see from Jordan Ott, and what bare minimum we need to see from Jordan Ott in his first year as a head coach. Those are the 2 buckets I want us to dive into. Wants, needs. The needs, you got to have it if you're going to believe in him as a head coach. He's got to do these bullet point things if he gets a year 2, and if we say at the end of the year, the Suns have their man. The wants, they're the cherry on top that make us go from Suns have a head coach to, boy, Suns have maybe one of the best young head coaches in the sport. The wants paired with the needs take you to a different level, but the needs make you credit Mat Ishbia and Brian Gregory for their process and for the ultimate end result of hiring Jordan Ott. Wants, needs, those are the 2 buckets.
I love it.
The needs, I think, are where we should start. Because, again, the wants are the cherry on top. They're the sprinkles on the top.
They're the gift.
The needs, the non-negotiables. I need to see Jordan Ott show me, not right away, but by the time we get to the end of the season, I got to see somebody who has a firm understanding of what his team is. And I know that's very generic and bold, or very generic and bland, but here's what I mean by this. By the end of the year, he's got to have a very firmly set rotation. The start of the year, you want to mix it up. You want to get guys in different roles. You want to see who thrives. Fine. But at some point, after you do all that experimentation, I want to see a coach who understands what his players are and what his players aren't and put them in roles. Do you remember, Evan, at the end of last year, frustratingly talking about Mike Budenholzer and the point guard position?
They never knew what their starting rotation was, ever. Not for a single second.
They tried things, but it felt like they were trying things just for the sake of trying things. I don't want that this year. I want a coach who understands his personnel and puts them in the right position to succeed and does what is right for the team. Doesn't wait until post-trade deadline to have somebody new playing point guard instead of having Tyus Jones out there. So an understanding of your personnel. That's top line, something I need to see from Jordan Ott this year. I need to see a complete 180 from what we saw under Coach Bud. What I need to see from Jordan Ott this year, because this is part of his resume, I need to see the development of young players. I need to see Ryan Dunn take a step. I need to see Oso take a step. I need to see Malawach to take a step. I need to see Mark Williams, a young player, take a step. Colin Gillespie, a young player, to take a step. I need to see the young core of this team, the players that the Suns decided to bet on, the players that the Suns decided to keep around, the players that Jordan Ott and Brian Gregory decided were a part of what they are trying to do here. I need to see them grow and develop into not just rotational pieces, but in the case of Ryan Dunn, to being an everyday starter, in your top 10 pick in Malawach, being a massive minutes player for you, somebody who isn't just a rotational player, as a major role for you. That's the type of thing I need to see from Jordan Ott, because that's what he's supposed to be good at. He's supposed to be good at player development. He was brought in here to develop these young players, to develop this young core. That is another need. Culture is another need. I need to see a team play with that grit, play with that aggressiveness, play with that toughness, that tenacity. And having players like Dillon Brooks, boy, is certainly going to help with that. And as Dillon Brooks and as Devin Booker and as the veterans of this team play hard on that end of the floor, I think that's going to trickle down to the rest of those young players. But I got to have the culture, not just off the court, but that culture on the court of being a hard-nosed, tough, gritty basketball team. It's a non-negotiable, got to have it. Anything that I'm missing?
Those were the big 2 for me, and knowledge of the roster was 1. The big 2 was player growth and the culture. You got to have a 1, and I think that falls under culture. I had written down here a 1, and that falls under culture. And the last thing I would like to, and I think it needs to be a need. Last 2 minutes, they need to be better situationally. They were really bad last year.
You want to see a team that plays good, fundamental basketball. I think sound fundamental basketball. I think I flipped that.
Yeah.
It was a little. That'll be
sound fundamental.
That'll make a good drop here by the end of the week. sound fundamental basketball. Final 2 minutes, you talk about situational basketball IQ, making the right plays, not seeming chaotic and frantic the way the Suns have done in the past. And guess what? That trickles down from a coach who's confident.
And I don't know if they have the talent to hit all those end-of-game opportunities. That's a question for another day. But I need them to have looks or a great defensive stand. And if, one of the best players in the world, let's say they're playing the Lakers, and Luka Doncic he's smothered, but he hits the shot to beat you. Okay. But I don't need a free bucket like they were giving up late last year.
Now we get to the fun part. The wants. The cherry on top. The sprinkles on top of the sundae. This could be anything.
I got a few.
I'll let you start then.
Get the best out of Devin Booker. I think that's a want. I don't know if I need it. Young head coach, 11th year veteran. If he's getting the most out of the young guys, do I need him to get the most out of Devin Booker? That's a want, because I'm a Devin Booker fan. I want him to stay here. But I don't need it for the future of this team.
Okay.
A want, play competitive basketball at the end of the year. Be in contention for a play-in spot, the 6th seed, something that I'm playing for competitive basketball at the end of the year.
The big one, and when we talk about the sprinkles on top of the sundae, the cherry on top, right? We said the want takes you from you made a good hire to you made a great hire. And to me, if this team is making noise late in the year and threatening a playoff spot, I mean, that's just all the credit in the world to both Brian Gregory and Jordan Ott, right? But that's a want. I don't need that to determine whether or not Jordan Ott's a good coach. If you got there, then I think you've got a great head coach if he's able to do that in year one. If year one, you're able to fly past the win total that Vegas has, fly past your win total from last year, and be talking about the 7 seed, the 8 seed, the 9 seed, and you are in a playoff spot with room to spare, boy, that would be something special. But again, that's a want, not a need. If that doesn't happen, think about it this way. The things we're talking about now, if they don't happen, it's not going to lead to me being disappointed in Jordan Ott. It's not going to lead to me thinking, did they make the right decision? Did they make the right call at head coach? It's a great shout. Anything else on your list?
I got one last one. It's kind of niche one.
Love it.
Be talked about in the same breath as the Miami Heat.
Okay, so you want...
You mentioned the Steelers. You mentioned changing culture. You want to look at culture in the NBA? Look what they've built with Spoelstra down in Miami.
So you're basically saying a want here would be a really quick culture turnaround where it is so obvious to everybody. And I think it goes hand in hand with the last thing on your list, which these are great things, by the way, all things that I was thinking about as well. That it is so obvious the culture turnaround. It is so obvious that they got the right guy. It is so obvious that they made the right decisions when it comes to players that everybody can't help but talk about the job that Jordan Ott is doing. That he's just in the coach of the year conversation.
And I know that is probably everybody wants a need in culture change. A culture change can take a while.
Sure. Culture doesn't change overnight.
But if we get like that, that's a want.
That's a want. That's a boy, did we land this?
We got this plane down.
I mean, we couldn't have done any better than this.
Yeah.
We got the right guy. We've brought in the right players. We've changed all of our issues from the last couple of years. And to Mat Ishbia's point from earlier in the show, it would be a different culture. It would be a different team. He would be 100% spot on. Now, here's where I want to go next. We talked about the wants. We talked about the needs. How long of a runway are we giving all of this before we're making up your mind? Because I just want to say something here off the top. If you've made up your mind about Jordan Ott already, shame on you. He's done absolutely nothing as a head coach for you to determine one way or another if the Suns have gotten this right. We're fans here on this show.
The alignment.
We're fans. We're in. We're aligned. But that doesn't mean I know what Jordan Ott is as a head coach. It also means I don't know what Jordan Ott isn't as a head coach. So I'm walking into this excited, optimistic, rooting for Jordan Ott, a believer in Jordan Ott, but I don't know. My mind is not made up. How long of a runway do you get? How much into this season will it take for us to say we know or not? And how quickly is too quickly? All of these are questions that I was thinking about driving in this morning. Because in general, when you ask that question, are you really answering that after year one? kind of takes 2 or 3 seasons to really know whether or not you got the right guy most of the time in sports, right? Usually you need time. Certainly when things are a disaster, you know pretty quickly.
Yeah, so, sometimes you do know. But it would have to be off the rails for you to know when you make a mistake.
So how long of a runway are you giving it?
It's probably 3 years.
I think I'm giving it at least 2.
And I don't know if it needs to be – I need to see a look in the 3rd year. Yeah. Give me 2 – if halfway through the 3rd year you want to make a change, it's 2.5 years, okay. But I need to see some kind of runway into a 3rd season.
I'll give you the Jonathan Gannon plan. I'll give you year 1 to clean it up. I'll give you year 2 to firmly build on what you did in year 1. And by year 3, I got to see major signs of progress.
And look where we're at.
And that's why we're having a conversation in year 3 about whether Jonathan Gannon should keep the keys to the franchise. Same with Monty for year 4. But right now we're at the beginning of this with Jordan Ott. And so here's what I'm interested in this season. I think my prediction for this year is we have a better chance of at some point during the year hitting the pause button and saying, we know the Suns have the right guy. We have a better chance of that than we do hitting the pause button in the season and saying, this is a disaster, they made a mistake.
Wholeheartedly agree.
That's the confidence I have. I think there's a better chance at some point during the year we hit the pause button and say, the Suns nailed this. And I think that chance is greater than us hitting the pause button and saying, they completely whiffed. Mat Ishbia has no idea what he's doing. Brian Gregory is a bad choice of general manager, and they're going to have to reset again at the end of the year.
And even here's the other talk track for me. They have less talent than last year. Like I just want to make it clear, this team could be bad. But for Brian Gregory, what more did you really want him to do with the cards he was dealt?
I think they put this team in a great spot to open up this, not championship window, but this window to getting back to relevancy. I think they did a great job navigating what was a really clear turning point, and they had to be very careful with how they did it. And I think they did it in a way that is going to set them up a couple years down the road to be fine.
I agree.
I just think there's a trust on my part with these guys that could be broken very quickly. And it's somewhat blind right now. But I've liked a lot. Not everything. I liked a lot of what I've seen so far.
And we've said it, talk track and actions. I've seen how they talk, which I enjoy, and I love when Jordan Ott gets to the podium because, listen, I believe what he says at the podium. And then a guy like Jordan Ott has backed that up. Right? A guy like Brian Gregory has backed that up. We're going to change the culture. Well, we brought in Dylan Brooks. We needed to get bigger. Okay, we made a move for Mark Williams. We added Malawash.
And that's why with Ott and with Gregory in particular, when they speak, I actually listen more because their actions have backed it up. With Ishbia, I'm out.
It's up in the air.
Up in the air. Leaning towards, I don't believe anything you say.
But with the GM, and this is the same GM who we referenced the video yesterday that happened on draft night, when he looked the owner in the face and said, I'm the general manager. This is what we're doing. Bray is the best shooter on the board. We're going to take him. That's the guy I have confidence in.
And tonight we get our first look at it. Hopefully it is a good first impression. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the show. We've got one more Sun segment coming up here on the other side. It's Wednesday, which means we got a top 5 list, and it is the top 5 players we are most excited about for this Sun season. Do it next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Ben DiNucci, NFL quarterback. I'm still going to introduce you as NFL quarterback. Being on the practice squad, what's the difference in how you're treated, lifestyle?
Honestly, nothing's different. I mean, there's 53 guys on the active roster and there's 16 on the practice squad. And the reality of the NFL is that guys are going to get hurt. There's a reason that these teams put a lot of effort into the practice squad, just like they do the active roster. It's really all the same. You're still traveling with the team. The pay cut's a little bit less, but at the end of the day, it's still great.
Live Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
All your favorite NBA players are back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season. With more markets open for more of the game, DraftKings, the #1 sportsbook for live betting, is live when others aren't. New customers, bet just $5 and get 3 months of NBA League Pass. Plus, score $300 if your bet wins, paid in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code AM1060. That's code AM1060. Bet $5 and get 3 months of League Pass, plus get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 and over. Arizona only. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. NBA League Pass auto renews until canceled. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade 2026. Live at Chase Field, September 6th, 2026. With special guest, Jimmy Eat World. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit mychemicalromance.com.
It's time. Time for the pro to get everything for the entire job, all from one partner. To get access to over 3 million products, including many products you won't find in our stores. It's time to get delivery on your schedule or next day on over 50,000 products. And time to get dedicated support on the job site or in our stores. From ordering to planning, we've got you. One partner, any job, all in. Ask about all we can now do at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
Dead cap hit just to move on. That's painful. But give Wilson credit. He never made it messy. He stayed composed, said the right things, kept it professional. That's why yesterday's public response turned heads after reports surfaced that Sean Payton wanted to face Wilson last weekend rather than rookie Jackson Dart because he thought it would make it easier on Denver. Say what you want about Wilson's play, but he's always handled himself with class. This, though, feels out of character, and maybe that's the point. Maybe now we're seeing just how fractured that Denver relationship really was, because when the full story eventually comes out, something says the $85 million breakup might not even be the juiciest part. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise.
When it comes to great meat, quality, freshness, and care make all the difference. That's the Heartland difference. At Heartland Steak Co., you're getting premium Midwestern meats, hand-cut, hand-picked, and delivered straight to your door. From juicy USDA prime and choice beef to all-natural pork and tender chicken, Heartland Steak Co. brings that true Midwest flavor right to your table. Perfect for backyard barbecues, weeknight dinners, or sending gifts of great taste, they've got you covered. Ordering is easy at heartlandsteakco.com. Choose from Grill Master packages, freezer filler bundles, or holiday gift boxes. Everything's flash frozen at peak freshness, so it's ready when you are. And here's the deal. When you spend $199.99 or more, you'll get free shipping and $25 off your order with promo code SAVE25. That's heartlandsteakco.com, your one-stop shop for premium Midwest meats delivered straight to your door. Taste the Heartland difference. Visit heartlandsteakco.com and use code SAVE25 today.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
This is what I mean when I say that was a collapse for the ages. An all-time tank job. Not only did the Giants lead 19-0, going into the fourth quarter, they scored 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, and they still lost. The Giants were 99.8% to win that game, according to ESPN. But according to the Broncos, the number was actually 0.0%.
Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Top 5 list. First one I've done in a little bit. What'd you guys do while I was gone? What were some of the top 5 lists while I was out?
Quarterbacks to this point.
Okay, love that.
Playoff moments for MLB baseball.
Those are 2 good lists.
That's a solid list.
Now, today, we are back in the saddle. Top 5 players we are most excited about this season for the Phoenix Suns, with our reasons why. Now, I don't want to. I'm gonna open up a can of worms here. That's what I'm afraid. My
list music is really the NFL
right,
music.
It's a whole big thing because, like, here's the list music, and this is not. I mean, we could play it. I think I'll just leave it up, but it's just not the music that we had for the list. I wish I had
alignment.
I wish I had Round Ball Rock right now.
We should just play the alignment on a remix. We should make an alignment remix for when we're doing a Suns list.
Just have, like, every so often.
The alignment.
Just in there.
I think that'd be good.
Pretty good. All right. Top 5 players we're most excited about for this Suns season. You want to start? You want me to start?
I figured, welcome back. New man. Figured you should start.
Okay. Number 5. This may be a surprise to some. Colin Gillespie, number 5 for me.
Oh, I love that.
I am excited to see. They obviously liked him enough to bring him back, right? But I'm also excited to see what he looks like under a coach that I think is going to understand what he does. And honestly, a coach that appreciates what he does. I don't think Coach Bud appreciated the player that Colin Gillespie was. And Gillespie just fits into what this team is trying to do so well from an energy perspective. I mean, we saw, what was that game last season that he took over? I think it was a road game against Denver. He also played well, I think, against the Clippers late in the season last year. I mean, there are times where he just was a fantastic player for them. And I think he's going to be put in more positions to succeed. He's going to fit the way that they're going to want to play. And I think there's another level to his game that's going to be unlocked now with a coaching staff, with a philosophy, with a game plan that fits what he does as a player. So he's my number 5.
He's not on my list. I love that.
HM.
I love that. I'll add him as an HM.
Okay.
My number 5, just because it's the year he's not Robin anymore. And I don't know if he is the player I'm most excited, because there's some young guys I'm excited to see what they look like under Jordan Ott. But you're the leader of this team. You're back in the saddle.
Number 5.
Devin Booker, number 5 for me.
Way higher up on my list. So I'll share that when we get there.
I think my number 1 and 2 are really going to surprise you.
I mean, I have a player at number 3 that I think is going to be surprising to some. I think. Number 4, the number 10 overall pick in the draft. Mr. Malawach for me at number 4. This is the reason why I'm excited. This is the first pick that Brian Gregory was able to make as a general manager. This was the first pick that Jordan Ott had a say in. This matters. This is proof whether or not you know what you're doing. This is proof whether or not you can evaluate talent. This is proof whether or not you can develop talent. This is proof that the guy who oversaw the drafting of Ryan Dunn and Oso Ighodaro deserved the keys to the franchise and deserved the ability to make this pick. He's a big. He's going to bring that physicality. He's going to bring that athleticism. He's going to help you on the defensive end. But this player and this season that he's going to have is so important for us to get a quick look into whether or not their process is good.
And for all of those reasons, I have him slightly higher on the list. My number 4, Jalen Green.
Ooh, Jalen Green and HM for me.
You added a player in Jalen Green in the Kevin Durant trade who, let's face it, has been cast out by the Houston Rockets, a playoff team, a very good team, and a guy who's going to get probably the nod at shooting guard for most of the season. It's the guy I'm excited to see what he can add to this roster, how it's going to work with Devin Booker. That's something that's going to be a really interesting storyline as well. I like Jalen Green. I think he's number 2 or number 4 on my list because I think he can add an element to this offense that they probably lost in losing Kevin Durant, losing Bradley Beal.
I have Green as an HM. I'll make a case for you to have him on the list. I'll do your job for you. I'll add something. Boy, there's got to be some revenge in the idea that you were on a team in Houston that felt like they were just one piece away from a championship, and they traded you to get that piece. Like, that's fuel. If that doesn't
light a fire, I don't know what will.
If that doesn't light the fire, I don't want you on my team.
Yeah,
it's really that simple. And I think he's the type of player that has that fire. So
I really do too.
I can't wait to see it. Number 4 for you and HM for me. Number 3. I wanted to put him at number 1. I couldn't bring myself to do it. Dylan Brooks is number 3 for me. I am so looking forward to the Phoenix Suns having the guy that drives every other fan base crazy when they play the Phoenix Suns. I cannot tell you how much it excites me to have a player that embodies everything missing from the Phoenix Suns last year that made us want to punch our television screen, or in my case, the tablet, when we were watching this team play. Dylan Brooks is everything last year's Suns team wasn't. Everything. Defensively, energy, physicality, toughness, grittiness. Do you remember the moment? I think they were playing either Houston or San Antonio. It was one of the Texas teams. I think it was Houston because Steven Adams was. Remember when Steven Adams got into it? Suns don't have a guy that's going to get in the mix like a Steven Adams. This year they do. His name's Dylan Brooks.
HM for me.
Dude's going to be an enforcer.
Listen, talk about changing the culture. You had Dylan Brooks. You got a big piece of that. HM for me, I know who Dylan Brooks is a little. That's kind of why not
sure, but
made my list.
Top 5 players we're most excited about. I'm excited that if anybody breathes on Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks is going to be there like, you want to go? What do you got to say? Because they've missed that. They haven't had that. I know we're having fun here, but last year they didn't have that player. They didn't have that mentality. They didn't have that feel. And I'm sorry, that type of play doesn't show up in a box score, but it's infectious.
Certainly.
And they didn't have that player. Now they do.
My number 3, Ryan Dunn.
Good shout.
Coming off a rookie year where I thought he was effective, especially late in the year. Young coach, player development coach. Can Ryan Dunn grow into the next level of a player, NBA key piece for this team? He's going to be starter.
I'll use this as a segue. My number 2, Ryan Dunn. At the end of the year, when Coach Bud had exhausted every other option imaginable, and he decided, you know what, I'm just going to play the young guys. I'm just going to play the guys who are athletic. I'm going to play the guys who just bring me an energy that some of these other guys don't. You saw the impact that Ryan Dunn could have. You know the type of player he is. We already knew when he got drafted, NBA-ready defense. Guy could defend with the best players in the NBA. Could match up against any person you wanted to match him up against. The offense was lagging a little behind. In the end of the season, you saw somebody that grew confident in his offensive game. Could knock down the 3, was taking the ball to the basket, was making some great cuts, receiving some passes, making great plays at the rim. And I think with a coach and a system and an expectation level this year where they can develop him, I think by the end of the season, we are talking about Ryan Dunn as a slam dunk, no doubt, in your starting 5. You're building around him to try to win a championship. That's how much I believe in Ryan Dunn this year. He's number 2 for me.
And all of that with Jordan Ott, who I think is only going to get the best out of him. My number 2, I can tell you, my number 1 and number 2, nobody's going to overlap here.
I will tell you, I know who my number 1 is. You've already named them.
I have.
These 2 players are not on my list at all.
No, one of them's on your list.
Oh, you put Malawach higher?
Yeah. My number 2, Mark Williams.
Wow, Mark Williams.
You couldn't play an ounce of defense around the rim last year.
It was brutal. It was. They were like rolling out the red carpet for other
So
teams.
for me, my number 1, my number 2 player is going to defend the rim. I am so excited to see them defend the rim. So Mark Williams is number 2.
You have gone all in on the protect the house.
Yes.
You were all in on the 2 players I'm most excited about are the 2 players that are going to fix the one thing that was probably the worst thing on the team last year. Malawach 1, Mark Williams number 2. I didn't have Williams on the list, but good shout. I have Grayson Allen as an HM as well. I don't know if you consider.
I actually had Grayson Allen as an HM as well.
And I'll tell you the reason why I'm excited for Grayson Allen is because I think if he plays well in the system, perfect trade bait for this team.
Yeah, you can move him.
Springtime.
No, Grayson Allen is the epitome of a really good NBA role player.
And he can shoot really well.
He's
one of the best shooters in the game.
On a night where he's on, you can't take him off the floor.
No.
You can't take him off the floor.
I hope that in this system, they can find a better role for him to where he can be on the floor and play a lot. I'm very hopeful that Jordan Ott will be able to do that. So he went with the 2 bigs. My number one, it's Devin Booker. And the reason why I put him at number one is I'm excited for a return to Act 1 of Devin Booker's career. I'm excited for a return to, there's no question, there's no doubt, there's no debate, no conversation. This is Devin Booker's team again. This is Devin Booker's franchise again. Now with all that experience, playing with Chris Paul, playing with DeAndre Ayton, almost winning a championship, watching young players like Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson develop around him, being the Robin to Kevin Durant's Batman to being a part of a big three with Bradley Beal, we get to see what a mature veteran Devin Booker learned from Acts 2 and Acts 3 of his career, but he's back to being an Act 1 player. It all rides on him. I'm excited to see what this version of Devin Booker looks like.
I want to touch on why Malawatch was my number one.
Go ahead.
This is, and you said it all, the first pick of the Brian Gregory Jordan Ott era. This is the guy you brought in for a player development coach. This is the guy you brought in to define a new era of Suns basketball in how you want to display your culture. This is everything. This is how Brian Gregory conducts himself on draft night. This is how they went through the interview process, the scouting process. And this is who they went with a top 10 pick, the 10th pick in the NBA draft. This is going to define how this regime is going to work around draft night and building rosters for as long as they are in place here as a Suns leadership group.
You're judged by your drafts as a general manager. You're judged by your free agent moves. Like that's how you're judged. And your first impression, think about it with Monty Ossenfort. His first draft, what did he do? Wheeling and dealing, ends up with Paris Johnson Jr. Everyone thinks, man, what a home run of a pick. Did a great job, right? Have a lockdown, stalwart franchise left tackle. That's what you have to do with that type of pick. Same thing applies here for the Suns. If you want me to believe in your ability to develop players, if you want me to believe in your ability to identify players, if you want me to believe that you're the right person to put this roster together, to be the architect, well, guess what? I got to see the building blocks. I got to see the foundation. Malawatch is the foundation. He's the base layer to this house that Brian Gregory is trying to build. If I don't like the foundation, I'm not letting you continue to build the rest of the house. That's why he's so important, and I can understand why he is your number one. That, your list this week here on the program. When we come back, your phone call is always welcome. 480-864-1060 is the phone number. Is it over for Kyler Murray? That's next. The lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Oklahoma City taking out everybody on their way to a championship. One of the youngest, I think they average 26 years old,
Yeah.
Rich. As long as they have the Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan machine, or at least one person on that team, hopefully it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They have a chance. And listen, it's human nature to be the best and think, I'll be the best again. And then you fall short. I'm going to say Oklahoma City will not go back-to-back.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app. As part of the Forward Building Together initiative to build and rebuild communities, Desert Ford dealers and Team Rubicon are helping to rebuild Globe, Arizona following recent flooding. If you'd like to donate to Team Rubicon efforts, visit our website to find a link. Go to donate.teamrubiconusa.org/donation/Ford dealers.
One study found that half of all clients are unhappy with their lawyer. The number one complaint, a total lack of communication.
That's why we survey our clients and know over 97% are happy. Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
When it comes to your electric bill, saving energy means saving money. That's why SRP offers many ways to help you cut costs and boost comfort. From rebates and discounts that can save you thousands of dollars, to expert insights that can help make your home more energy efficient. SRP has tools and programs that give you many ways to save. Explore your options today at srp.net/savings. That's srp.net/savings.
To everyone counting down the days until pumpkin season, your wait is finally over.
The Salted Caramel Pumpkin Concrete Mixer and Pumpkin Spice Shake are back at Culver's for a limited time. And because nothing beats the real thing, every scoop of fresh frozen custard is made with farm-fresh dairy, and every bite is filled with real pumpkin puree. So come visit us at Culver's, or order ahead in the app or online, and fall in love with these pumpkin desserts all over again.
From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious. To everyone who believes in magic, let our team member Teppy tell you how we do it at Culver's.
We're not talking about card tricks or disappearing acts. Wow. This is the kind of magic that transforms real farm fresh dairy into world-class Wisconsin cheese. We're talking about Midwest magic. It's about handcrafting every meal with love, because at Culver's, we want every bite to be turned into a smile. Order ahead in the app or online and come taste the magic for yourself.
From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Hey, it's Pat. So I went for ice cream the other night, and they had 48 flavors. I couldn't decide. Well, the Valley Toyota dealers have put me in that same position. They have 19 hybrid models to choose from, more than any other brand. How could you choose? Like the ice cream shop, I had to test all 19. Unlike the ice cream shop, I didn't go home with a bellyache, so that's a small win.
Right now, get a rugged 2025 Tacoma SR or SR5 with 1.75% 48-month financing. Or get low 1.75% financing for up to 72 months on a full-size Tundra. With great deals like this, now's the perfect time to visit your Valley Toyota dealer or valleytoyotadealers.com. Toyota, let's go places. 1.75% with $21.59 per thousand borrowed for 48 months. 1.75% with $14.64 per thousand borrowed for 72 months. Offers end 11/3/25 and exclude TRD Pro models. See dealer for details.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KTUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Producer Evan, I have a question for you. Do you remember earlier in the week, Monday, in fact, we had a conversation here on the program about a quarterback controversy between Kyler Murray and Jacoby Brissett? We had that conversation on Monday, right? You remember this?
Of course I remember this.
Debated whether or not Jacoby Brissett should remain as the starter, the reasons for keeping Kyler under center. We went through that on Monday, right?
Of course.
I've been thinking a lot about that conversation over the last couple of days, and I've found myself kind of funneling back to this question. Since we had that conversation on Monday, doesn't it already kind of mean it's over?
Yeah.
Doesn't it already kind of
certainly means it's time to move on?
Cement Kyler Murray's future here in Arizona, or lack thereof? The fact that we even had that conversation, the fact that we are even continuing to wonder who should be the starter for this team the rest of the way, it's over, and we still have 10 games to play. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up today, that scares me. That concerns me. Because this is where you lose a locker room. This is where you lose public trust. And this is where things go from bad to worse. And this is where things go from you coming back for year 4 as a coach and as a GM to this has gotten so bad, I'm hitting the complete reset button. It's over, and it's week 8. We
bad.
all knew going into the year that this was going to be a make or break year for Kyler Murray. I don't even think the biggest skeptics out there thought it would have started this point. I think they would have thought end of the year, they go 7-10, they go 9-8, miss the playoffs, and they just fall short, which is always kind of what happens with Kyler Murray under center for the Cardinals. They just always seem to miss the mark a little bit. I think that's what people thought their worst fear was for this season. I don't think any of us thought, and I'm going to look it up just to make sure I'm accurate on this. I don't think any of us thought we would get to week 7, week 8, the bye week, and I would pull up Tankathon, and I would see the Arizona Cardinals having a top 10 pick, being tied with teams in the 6, 7, and 8 spot. Meaning they're one game out of having the number 2 overall pick. I don't think any of us thought that would have been the case. And so it's over, and there's still 10 weeks to go. There's still 2 more months of this season to go, and we all know the outcome. We all know what is coming this spring. in March. We know the Cardinals are going to be heavily at the Senior Bowl scouting quarterbacks. And producer Evan, can I tell you what concerns me? If they go back to Kyler Murray and he plays poorly, and maybe not even he plays poorly, but the team continues to lose, this is going to be a toxic circus.
It's going to be a nightmare.
Disaster.
A nightmare. The only argument to Kyler Murray coming back, there are two. The first one being, well, you're still 0-2 with Jacoby Brissett, so what's the difference?
Right. He hasn't come in here and gone 2-0 and really made you contemplate things.
And the other one being, well, I'm going to have to move him.
Real quick. Could you imagine a world? Which place would you rather? I know which place the fans would rather be, but just looking at this, peeling the curtain back from a radio perspective, which place would we rather be? 2-5 with the quarterback controversy, and Jacoby Brissett won the last 2 games, and the team is 4-3, and Kyler is back and healthy after the bye week. What's better radio? I think that's better radio. No.
If they're 4-3,
if they're 4-3,
certainly better radio.
Jacoby Brissett is 2-0 because he beat the Colts. He beat the Packers.
I was gonna say you would have beat the Colts and the Packers. Then you're coming off a bye to play the Cowboys.
You're still in a playoff spot.
You could be
probably
5-3 in a division that feels like maybe the Niners are a little bit smoke and mirrors there at the top. They've been doing it with some injuries. They continue to get more and more banged up. There's a lot of talk about what it would look like. But you didn't win either. And you're 2-5. And at 2-5, you have to go, 8-2?
8-2 gets you to 10-7, yeah. 8-2 with their schedule gets them 10-7.
Look at the schedule. I mean, there are certain games, the Texans.
I mean, their next 3, at Dallas, at Seattle, at home against San Francisco.
You have to go 2-1.
Then your next 3 are Jacksonville, at Tampa, home against the Rams.
I could see them going 1-5 in that stretch.
And then we're talking about a team that's 3-10. It's over. We all know it's over.
At 3-10, you clean house.
Well, it's over. We know it's over, and yet it still can get worse. That's the thing that scares me the most.
Because this was the part of the schedule you were supposed to take advantage of.
Yeah, you were supposed to take advantage of Tennessee at home. You were supposed to take advantage at Indy. We didn't know what Indy was at the time, but you lost to Indy 31-27, so I'm sorry. I don't care what Indy is currently. You were in the game. You had a lead in the fourth quarter.
You gave up 31 points. You had a lead in the fourth quarter in 3 straight football games, and you've lost. You've lost 5 consecutive fourth quarters. You couldn't complete a pass to beat the Niners. You had Amari DiMercato, and I'm sorry, I know this is a player mistake. This is a culture issue. Threw the ball out of the back of the end zone before he scored.
You've played 7 one-possession games. Beat New Orleans by 7, beat Carolina by 5, lost to San Francisco by 1, lost to Seattle by 3, lost to Tennessee by 1, lost to Indy by 4, lost to Green Bay by 4.
If you played 7 consecutive one-possession games and they were 6-1, I would be saying, well, hey, they nobody can win this many one-possession games. Like this.
So the flip side is you can't lose this many one-possession games.
Unless you're so poorly coached in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And you can't do situational football.
It's
to
scary.
Its smallest capacity.
It's so scary that we all know it's over. We all know what's coming in the spring, and yet we all have to get through the next 11 weeks together. And to me, that sentence that we still have 11 weeks to go of this season just breeds the opportunity for this to go to free fall, for this to just be to get even worse. That's the thing that concerns me over the next 11 weeks.
There's a serious scenario where if they go 1-5 and we're talking about a 3-10 football team, that if this thing continues to go that way, they could have an interim coach the last week of the year.
480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, before we hand things off at the top of the hour to the Jim Rome Show, it's all the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of today's program. We call it the leftovers. Get to it next. It's the lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
James out west.
Mike Trout became the 59th player to hit his 400th home run. The home run record holder for the Angels. I was going to quiz you. Who do you think the number 2 is on the list for all-time home runs for the Anaheim Angels?
I would assume it's Shohei Ohtani.
Nope, Tim Salmon.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
299 for Tim Salmon. Mike Trout got 101 more than the next guy.
Naming a random MLB player that had a really good career.
Yeah, dude, I loved watching Tim Salmon, bro. I'm about to cut together some Tim Salmon highlights.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
At Winco, we're working to save you money. Big savings on top quality meat, produce, seafood, and deli. Bakery fresh breads, cakes, and cookies made daily in store. Low prices on top quality national brands and thousands of our own private label. In every aisle, every department, every day.
9 stores in the Phoenix area, including the new Santan Valley location.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters and we kept signing people to contracts and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract, play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Wrap it up. Wednesday edition of the show. Thanks for hanging out with us. We know all of you have choices when you're listening. We appreciate you making us a part of your day. Before we hand things off at the top of the hour to the Jim Rome Show, we've got the leftovers, all the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of today's show. Producer Evan has them, puts them all together. What do we have today on the leftovers?
We will start in the NFL. Announced this morning, Jaden Daniels ruled out for their game against the Chiefs this week. It'll be Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a broken record. I did say this during the rewind on Monday. This is my concern about this team, is that he's in and then he's out and then he's back in and he's out, and they can never gain any positive momentum. Now, they never hit rock bottom and they never bottom out because I think Mariota's a decent backup quarterback.
Capable backup.
And when Daniels is in there, he's great and they can win games. But I just don't think they can reach their full potential because they're not building on anything. They're just not building off of a win with him in there because then he's out.
And listen, he played most of the game this week. It was a tough loss to the Cowboys. It's a bad loss.
Again, I just don't think they're building any positive momentum, and this doesn't help in that regard.
The Giants, newest move in the manager carousel.
Okay, this is the baseball Giants. I thought you were talking about the football Giants for a second.
They have hired new manager Tony Vitello from Tennessee. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, but Tony becomes the first manager ever to go straight from the college ranks all the way to the show.
Let me make something very clear. This may work out. And anything I've heard Tony say in quotes that I've seen or podcast appearances, sounds like a really smart guy who I think gets it. So I think this could work for San Francisco. Boy, does this really just feel like Buster Posey trying to be the smartest guy in the room and Buster Posey trying to control everything that happens there in that dugout. Just feels like Buster Posey and the front office that he's building out and the analytical department wants to have full control over what happens during a game. And this is the guy that they think is the best person to facilitate what they want to do and dictate it to the players, but also be a good clubhouse vibes guy. Just feels like Buster Posey trying to show everybody, look at how I can do it.
Yeah, right. He had the big splash trade last year. They sold at the deadline. We're still relevant. People were kind of all in on the Buster Posey train right now. And
again,
for good reason.
Still could work. I still think Buster's a smart baseball guy. I think they're going to be extremely active here in the offseason. But if it doesn't work out, the warning signs are there.
I just want to keep everybody updated on how former guys in the town are doing. Houston fell last night in double overtime to Oklahoma City. Durant came out. He wants to pin the opening season loss on himself.
What's on him?
Yeah, it's on him.
Okay. You got like 80 more, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Chances.
Bleacher Report wrote a story this morning. The top 10 NFL trade block candidates.
Trey Hendrickson,
number 9. They have their projected value as a conditional 2026 second-round pick. Number 10.
It's Crosby.
No. Jackson Powers-Johnson, the offensive lineman.
For the Giants.
For the Raiders.
Excuse me, sorry.
His conditional pick, a 4th-round pick, and or veteran cornerback.
Okay.
I like these projections of the trade.
Oddly specific.
Yeah, that's why I laughed. Cody Barton, linebacker for the Titans, projected value, 4th-round pick. Jermaine Johnson II, the edge rusher out of New York, conditional 3rd-round pick.
Okay.
Your thoughts on that as a Jets guy?
I would rather not do that, but.
Number 6, Kayvon Thibodeau. It's a name we've heard. 2026 second-round pick. Number 5, another Jet, Breece Hall, player that we both have talked about getting moved. Conditional 3rd-round pick.
All right, a lot of day 2 picks going right now.
Yep. Number 4, cornerback Roger McCreary out of Tennessee. A 4th-round pick. Thought they could get more for him.
They took him, what, in the 1st round?
Yeah.
Just has never really hit his potential there in Tennessee.
No.
But really, that's just been a mess the last couple of years.
A complete mess. Number 3. Now we're getting into some big names.
Okay.
Even though this has been the lowest value of all the players. Tight end Mark Andrews.
No, they're not going to do that.
Conditional 5th-round pick.
They're not going to do that.
Potential suitors they have is the Carolina Panthers.
No.
And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
No.
The Panthers.
Boy, you'd love for the Panthers to be buyers at the deadline, wouldn't you? You would love an alert from Adam Schefter of the Panthers making a big splash. You'd love it.
Number 2 is Jacoby Myers, wide receiver out of the Las Vegas Raiders. They might trade everybody.
So, still on the team.
5th-round pick, 7th-round pick as his projected value.
Gosh, if the Cardinals were 5-2, I would do that in a heartbeat.
Pittsburgh and Washington, the potential suitors there.
Could you imagine a world where the Cardinals were like decent and they could trade those 2 picks to get Jacoby Myers on their team?
That'd be awesome.
What a world.
Number 1, Jalen Phillips, the edge rusher out of Miami.
Yeah.
2026 4th-round pick is what they believe he will get. Potential suitors there, Cowboys, Niners. Cowboys potentially calling for Max Crosby.
Yeah, it definitely feels like there's a lot of activity ahead of the November 4th NFL trade deadline. We'll see what actually comes and goes before then. But a lot of teams interested in moving play, a lot of good players available. So we'll see if the NFL trade deadline gives us a little bit more than it normally does in terms of newsworthiness. That'll do it for us, Wednesday edition of the program. We're done. We're out of here. Jim Rome, he is coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everybody, have a great rest of your Wednesday. Talk to you tomorrow. See you.